Be honest. How many texts have you forgot to reply to today? How many emails have you not responded to yet that you need to? Right? How many notifications are on your phone? Uh, you know what I'm saying? Like how many WhatsApp messages and Instagram posts and TikTok reels? How many of them are unchecked? How many of them do we look at? What's your screen time saying? Is it more than 4 hours a day on your device? Which right now mine is in another room for purposes of this pod. My point being, mobile phones have changed us forever. Smartphones have changed us forever. Okay, um, we are at a point where we are wired to get notifications on a numerous amount on a daily basis of all kinds. I mean, holy shit! Just 30 years ago, you got mail, right? That's the highlight of your notification. Okay, you've got mail, and Yahoo Mail, Instant Messenger. That was when I was young, and I don't even use it when I was little. But now, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Messenger, X/Twitter, CNN News if you have, ESPN. I mean, Gmail, Yahoo Mail. I mean, should I continue? Okay, so mobile phones, smartphones have had an adverse effect on us, on human psyche, and if it's completely rewired us as people. Now, there's no escape from smartphones. Okay, I'm gonna be clear. There's no escape, and they've changed us forever, both in good and not so good ways. But there's no living without them. Okay, you to be successful and to succeed in any endeavor, you need to communicate. You need to be in communication with those around you, and the only way to do that is with a device. And without a device, I mean, what are you gonna do? Write letters? Send a damn postcard? In the mail? No, right? Uh, are we gonna go back to birds? Doing the bird mail thing? No. So, pigeon mail or whatever. So, yeah. So mobile phones have rewired us for good, and not only that, we're rewired so much that we get a lot of us react emotionally in the same way that our ancestors would react to actual danger, like the lion's gonna attack you or the crocodile is about to grab you. That's called a flight or flight response, right? And it triggers this adrenaline rush or what have you, this chemical compound in our brain. But there is none of that now. However, getting a angrily worded text especially from a close person, that'll trigger that, right? Getting maybe too many DMs, too many reels at once, especially when you're busy and you're looking at your phone, that'll do that, right? So it's completely rewired us, and there's basically no going back. Okay, there's no going back. It's comes down to a matter of managing, right? So how can we manage, right? Um, so okay, number one, we have to identify a problem to be able to either solve or improve upon a problem. Okay, so what's the problem? Getting bombarded with notifications every day, and not just notifications, but like hundreds of them from all different sources. Okay, uh, if you're a human being, if you're an adult human today and you're working a 9 to 5 job or a career, or you're in education and you're pursuing higher degrees or what have you, you're taking training courses, certifications, you're trying to build a startup, you're trying to build a website, app, whatever. Maybe you're focused on other things like being a professional athlete, where physical expertise is your focus. What I'm saying is, all your technology should improve your life. It shouldn't make your life harder, and it shouldn't make it harder to do the things you need to do. Does that make sense? So, yeah, if you have to focus on a project, or if you have to focus on something that needs your undivided attention, okay, like reading if people still read, if people still do their papers today without using AI. I know you Gen Zers, you like to use AI. Back in the day, guess what? Last generation, zero AI. Barely had Google to help us writing papers. We did actually write them without any AI. So there's that. And so, yeah, so we have to manage, essentially, we have to manage technology, not let technology manage us. Okay. The smart device shouldn't own you. Okay. Your iPhone shouldn't own you. Instagram shouldn't own you. You are the user of that said thing, of the device, of the platform, whatever. Now, is it easy to check your phone every day? Are we in a habit of checking and answering to messages and being in group chats and getting DMs and messages on like a minute by minute basis at some point, and your phone notifications just blowing up? Yes. Now, does your device let you turn off those notifications? Yes. Can the actual messaging platform mute notifications or mute groups? Or honestly, you can leave any group you want if it's causing you more harm than good. Does it let you do that? Yeah. Right. So you are not privy to being you're not privy to having to be stuck on a particular item because you can't turn off notifications. Checking your phone, you don't have to be a slave to your phone, right? I really think you shouldn't be. I'm not saying never check your phone, never check your device, because there's no way around it. You need it. We all need it now. It's a necessity. It used to be a luxury. Things that used to be luxury are now necessities. Things that our parents couldn't even dream of in their generation is now like they need the latest and greatest now, right? And so now, technically speaking, like, can you survive without it? Yeah. It's not like a basic human need, but in the modern tech world, it is a need in the sense that without it, it's much harder to accomplish things than with it, right? So, got my new Batman here. So, a cool little Thermos Batman. So, okay. So 30, 40 years ago, okay, all we had was scheduled TV programs, the news at the same time, live sports, newspapers, magazines, libraries, bookstores. I mean, print media. That is it. I mean, early days of internet, basically. You know what I mean? The internet, I would say, was born. I don't know if it's older than me, who is 36, but I know it became big in the 90s, and I'm a 90s guy, so I can say the internet was really birthed in the 90s, and so that really society really really compounded from then, right? Yeah, it's affecting our generations differently. Okay, so I'm a millennial, as you can see, born in the end of the 80s and have grown up, thank God, in the 90s. And in full transparency, I really believe the 90s was the best era ever, 90s and 2000s. And I think my generation specifically would agree with that. You know, I can't speak for all others, but I would fairly say that most of us who grew up in the 90s before smartphones and social media and Instagram and everything took over, we knew a time before that. And now there's no going back. We're moving forward. Time moves forward, and it's going to be all tech all the time. Right. So in generationally speaking, honestly, the younger generations are having worse. Okay. And I'm not going to get too specific, but I have very clear examples. There's a lot of data in terms of TikTok and mental health crises, and Gen Z having trouble with focusing and getting their first careers and jobs. I mean, it's affected their entire psyche. I mean, it's creating a lot of issues mentally, mental illness and so forth. So, and I see it in some instances on a personal note, right, for that generation. And so, yeah, now there's no going back. Okay. Unless something earth-shattering happens, okay, and I don't have to go into detail there. there is pretty much no going back, right, to the 90s or before. It's going to be all tech all the time. We people, especially smart, intelligent people, have to manage ourselves and manage technology and not let it manage us. Okay. AI is here to stay. Okay. There's no escaping it. It's here to stay. And really, people who will be left behind are those who are not integrating AI into their life, right? And I mentioned it on a previous episode on my trip to Europe, Paris and London. I utilized AI for just really basic needs like create list of translations that I could easily draw up, on my device, or a list of things to do in certain areas, and that's really barely scratching the surface. I know, and it's not even the paid version, so I'm barely making the use of it. But there's no going back. Okay, so AI is part of it. We can't afford to be like, oh, but we have to go back to the things the way they were, or it's always been done that way. I'll tell you something. Nothing has killed companies and industries more than we've always done it that way. Example. Okay, so Kodak and Polaroid, right? Kodak and Polaroid, those companies faced a critical decision of going to digital phones, digital cameras, okay, or stick with their old-fashioned. Anyone my age or older knows with the disposable cameras, right, with the actual printout, with the actual film cameras, right? So, in the early 2010s, which I actually was back then I was working as a photo tech at a drugstore, right, in college, and so I did this printing photos from film cameras, right? And there's of course digital cameras you could plug into, but at that time, right, Polaroid and Kodak, they had to decide that like digital cameras is the future and we're going to invest into that. But one of those companies, I believe it's Polaroid, decided to not go that route and to focus on the traditional, old school, always done it that way film camera. Went out of business real fast. They're out of business. Okay. So, there is no going back. You have to adjust with the times. And those who don't adjust, those who don't move with the times are going to be left behind. Life is just going to be harder. There's just no way around it. Okay. Right. So, in terms of TikTok, right now, before you come at me, okay, about the benefits of TikTok, which I know there are many, I've seen a lot of data and reports of a lot of harm it's done in terms of it makes your brain dumber because you have TikTok brain. You can't have focus. You can't just sit still anymore. No one that age pretty much can. It's like anxiety creating device, right? It's an anxiety creating app. And because if you can't sit there without looking at your screen and scrolling, that's not a healthy brain. Okay. That brain is going to have a lot of problems when you don't have stimulus. Okay. When you don't have screens in front of you. Because, hey, man, there's going to be a time where you don't have a screen. You might be in the jungle. You might be in the mountain. I don't know. You might be in a different country, right? And you have no devices, no nothing. It's just you and nature. And especially if you're out of battery of a device. Your phone is not going to help you now. Okay? Your device is not going to help you now. So, in other words, Gen Z and younger, please limit your devices. Okay? Get out in nature. Touch grass, as they say. Gen Alpha, which is, in my estimation, the ages of 10 through 16, 18, roughly. I mean, iPhones from birth, okay? iPhones from birth, and not just iPhone 1, like iPhone 5 and 10, but beyond from birth. And, their whole world has been iPhones and social media and YouTube shorts from birth. So we're not going back. My generation is the last one to know life before all this crazy tech. But that being said, humans, babies and children, they're not built we're talking, if you look at 10,000, 100,000 years of human evolution, yes, 100,000 humans have been around for over 100,000 years, okay? History only starts that we know, recorded history is in the past 4,000, 5,000 years-ish, okay? I'm not a historian, don't quote me. But most of human history is actually prehistory that we don't have recorded history on. But those are still humans, okay? Hunter-gatherer tribes, etc. That's literally 100,000 plus years. Honestly, it could be multiple of that, okay? What I mean is, for most of human history, you've had to survive. You've had to be out in the jungle. You've had to hunt and kill to survive animals. You've had to gather fruits and vegetables, whatever resources you can. You have to fight off danger, right, in the form of animals and wild animals. You have to look out for weather. You have to. The youth, the young won't survive. A lot of the young won't survive. In fact, the freaking the age, not to scare people, but the lifespan of most humans, adult humans, before modern era, before even before like the 15th century or something, was like 35, 45, not even 40. I'll be honest, it was really low. Okay, that was life for most of human time. Okay, this is a new era. Okay, it's a new frontier. We've never had a frontier. Digital devices, with the tip of your, with the whole world at the tip of your finger, tip of your hand, and it's completely rewiring babies. Okay, which is why I'm not giving my child a device, my future child, for as long as humanly possible. And even if he or she does get one or access to one, it's only going to be a very, very short limit amount of time throughout the week. Okay, that's for their brain's development, right? So this is a generational issue. Okay, like I said, I don't, not to be cliche again, but having grown up without smart devices or without computers or internet, fast internet and high speed, and from the youth, preteen, I'm saying preteen, and then teenage years, those things became more and more common. We have a healthier brain development. Okay, that's a healthier brain development. The human brain is not designed to get this sort of stimulus from a young age, on a constant level. And we are seeing the effects of that with Gen Z and Gen Alpha. Okay, if they're on their devices all day, parents, I'm sorry, but try to limit that if possible. It's only creating more issues mentally. It's creating developmental issues. Okay, prefrontal cortex issues. I'm not a neurologist, but it's certainly there, and there's been studies on this, right? So that's another way of saying we have to manage technology. Okay, manage your screen time. Okay, update your settings so that it turns off after a certain time. Like for me, I have a sleep setting. Once it's on sleep mode, which is around 11 p.m., it completely shuts off all notifications, and my phone is in another room anyway, and I'm almost gonna go to bed anyway. Okay, we have to manage our devices. Okay, turn off notifications. If you are in a focus period, for God's sake, turn your phone on do not disturb, and put the phone somewhere else. Okay, if you need to focus on work, on school, on homework, on projects, anything for an extended period of time, turn off notifications. Do not disturb unless you really need to take a phone call from someone important, right? Then turn it off to a different setting. Like I have work setting for iPhones, okay? And work settings, you can see them, but they don't pop up, the notifications, right? On like as you first get them. So I turn that on. If I check it later, I can check them at a time when I'm more free. But I will turn on work settings so I'm not getting hounded by notifications, except for like important phone calls or messages from important people, family and such, right? So, yeah, we can't afford to live like we did before 2010, okay? 2010, right? To be honest, I'm a late bloomer to smartphones. I did not get my first smartphone until 2012, and all of my friends had iPhones at that time. I was just finishing up college. Okay, I'm one of the last adopters at that time to even get a smartphone, and that was like mind blowing. But I had a regular cell phone. Okay, for years on like 2-year contracts, which seemed like eternity back then, right? And yeah, we had just regular cell phones that all you could do was text and call someone and maybe check your email on a tiny ass screen that's like a fraction of the screen of an iPhone. Okay, and barely played Snake games or whatever. That's all we had. Okay, Motorola, a Razr, really fun device, fun to text with. Did I text a lot? Yeah, but whatever, everyone was texting a lot, and that's all you could do anyway. So yeah, there's no going back to that. Now it's Instagram Reels a bunch. And by the way, a word to the wise. Here's another thing I noticed. We tend to send reels in bursts. Okay, and I know I send reels in a short burst. Okay, but I send reels. First of all, I monitor my time on Instagram Reels. Okay, it can't affect what I'm trying to accomplish with work or podcast or cooking or cleaning. It can't come in the way of that. So it's only when it's non-productive time. Okay, then I monitor my time. I limit my time 5 minutes. Okay, a couple of reels, cool, funny, educational, motivational, whatever. That's all I care about. I will only send them to 2 or 3 people or groups. That's it. And having known their taste of humor or whatever, I know it might appeal to them. And then that's it. I stop there. I think no one should send more than 2 to 3 reels in a row to anyone. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. It's not a good idea to send more than 2 or 3 reels at a time to any given person. Okay, it's all it's gonna do. It's actually gonna do the opposite. It's gonna annoy them. It's not gonna make them, unless they have nothing else to do. It's not gonna make them want to go back and forth on the reels thing too much, right? If you're a busy adult, you just can't afford to do that. Okay, so that's a quick hack which I'll get to here. I really recommend to not send more than 2 or 3 reels at a time, and not more than once or twice a day. Okay, I would say that's okay practice, into a little healthier practice in terms of sending reels and stuff. I'm not saying don't check your reels. I'm not saying don't check Instagram and don't have fun with your friends with sharing memes and reels. Lord knows I'm a meme king. I love sharing memes and reels. Okay, I'm saying don't say after 2 or 3, it's too much. Okay, it's getting too much, and it's actually going to do the opposite. It's going to make the other person who's getting them get annoyed by you. Okay, I know I'm getting annoyed by getting too many. I end up turning it off. It makes me want to turn off notifications and not check them. Okay, because I want to check them in my time, whenever I'm available, whenever it's a non-productive time for me, not when you send them. So now that being said, does everyone know what everyone's time is, non-productive or productive? No. Now, if you're a 9 to 5, typically, yeah, right. We on that schedule, sure, but not everyone's going to honor that, of course. But anyway, healthy practice. If you're sending more than 2 and 3 reels, it's telling me you have an issue focusing. It's telling me you have an issue with focusing and turning your phone off for productive time, or maybe you have too much non-productive time. You know what I mean? So yeah. Please, I would highly recommend limit, okay? And I don't care if it's TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, whatever. Whatever you're sharing with friends, limit that to 2 or 3 in a row maximum. And then you're done. Turn it off. Do not disturb mode. And then get to work. Okay? If you want to be productive, if you want to make the most of your time, your productivity, okay? That's 100% recommend. Okay. That leads me to the next thing, text messages. Here's Masha's hacks for checking texts, right? It's basically the same as notifications. Okay. So number one, set your phone to a setting where you're not getting bombarded with messages that's popping up, ding ding ding, your phone's just going off, right? Because it's that sound of the phone going off is only triggering the chemical in your brain to want to check it. Okay, even if you're in the middle of a meeting, even if you're on a call, even if you're taking an interview, it makes you want to check it, right? So put a setting where you're not getting the notifications or you can't hear it. Now, if do not disturb mode doesn't work for you, there's a work mode. You can customize. There's a custom setting, alert setting on iPhones. Okay, I can't speak for Androids. There's a custom setting that you can choose what to get notifications from and what not to get notifications from. Okay, use that setting. Right. Here's a hack for text, right? This happens to everybody, okay? Everyone has forgotten, including me, has forgotten to respond to a text. Everyone has opened a text and forgot to reply and ends up like being left on read. The other person or you, probably the other person. Everyone has been left on read when messaging someone else, okay? And that doesn't feel good, does it? Nobody wants that, right? Especially if you can see that. So, number one, please don't respond to a text when you receive it if you can't open it right then and there. Okay? Or, let me say that again. If you cannot respond then and there, don't open a text. Okay? Don't open it, right? Especially if your phone is set to read receipts, where the other person can see if you read them or not. If you don't have the ability to respond right now, I don't care why. It could be you have to think about it. Your mood is off. And for God's sake, don't ever respond when you're angry. Do not ever respond when you're angry. It's going to do more harm than good. Okay? Right. So if you can't respond, don't open it. Very simple. Instagram, Facebook, Messenger, WhatsApp, text message. What else is there? Telegram, right? That's another one. Whatever the hell else you use, okay? Just leave it unread and come back to it, okay? Now, we talked about the notifications thing, right? To improve the setting on your device so you're not hearing or getting the notifications. Your device is getting them, but you're not seeing them pop off, right? Okay, and so now, yeah, it's better to not open a message and come back to it later when you had time to think than it is to open a message, leave it on read, and then forget to respond to it later. How many of us think, I'll just respond to it later? What's your message? Oh, I'm busy right now. I'm driving somewhere. Let me get to it later. And then you end up not texting back. I'm guilty of it. I know I am. But I have a strategy on how I respond to messages. If it's a family that I can respond to right away, I'll respond to it. If it's not emergency or not super important and I'm in the middle of something, I'll wait. Okay. If it's friends, if it's colleagues, if it's business partners, you have to prioritize who's important, right? So based on that prioritization, obviously you'll respond accordingly. But regardless, if it's high prioritization and you can't respond right away at that time, just don't open it. It's better not to open it. Leave it unread, okay? Now, if you do open it, iPhone users, I'm talking to you. If you open your message, but you don't want to respond now, you can't respond now, you're not in the right headspace, you're really emotional right now, you're driving, whatever, okay? Whatever the reason, how about this? Turn it back on to unread, okay? Mark it as unread. So you didn't respond, you opened it, you read it, you're not responding, mark it as unread. Then you turn your phone off and you do what you got to do. The next time you turn it on, you'll see it unread. You're like, oh shit, I forgot. I got to respond to so-and-so. Oh yeah, I thought about the answer. Okay, here's my reply. Does that make sense? Very simple, right? If you can't respond, don't open it. But if you open it, but you also can't or shouldn't respond for whatever reason, mark it as unread. Okay? It's way better to respond later with a more clear thinking than it is to either respond right away with too rushed mind an emotional response, or totally forget about responding later. Okay. Yeah, iPhone users, I'd recommend turning off your read receipts for all new contacts. I think there might be a setting where you could turn them off for all contacts or whatever. I haven't spent time to look at that, but yeah, if you get a new contact, iPhone defaults to sending read receipts on to messages to new contacts. If that's the case and you're messaging someone that's new contact, turn off the read receipts. Okay, so that way when you open future texts, they can't see that they're left unread or whatever, right? That's what I would do. I wouldn't have those all open except for people that you really need them to see your read receipts. Okay. Right. So yeah, we have so much virtual stimulation and mental workload, right, on a daily basis, especially if you're in your 30s and up. It's just too much, man, to remember to respond to a message that you didn't respond to right away and that's not marked unread. Our brain is bombarded too much information. We live in the information age. There's a abundance of that. Okay. So yeah, if you can't respond, don't open it. If you do open it, mark it as unread. Turn off read receipts for iPhone users if you can, and definitely be in the right mental headspace to respond and think about a right answer that is not going to harm the other person or damage the relationship of you and the other person. Okay, for sure. Yeah, like I mentioned, never ever reply when you're angry, when you're depressed, highly emotional. You never know what your emotions could do to someone, right, when you reply in that state. Okay, so yeah, it's definitely better to not respond than it is to respond angrily or emotionally or depressed. Okay, for sure. And yeah, now a lot of us, I was saying earlier that when you get a notification, when you get a message that rubs you the wrong way, whatever the hell the message is, and it might not even word for word sound like it's bad or negative, but you have an internal context, especially with the recipient or with the sender, it could be family, a close one, that to you is triggering. Okay. I recommend it's not too good idea to read too much into those messages. Okay. Yes, we have our relationships with people we know, close ones, close people, what have you. There is inner context that we have that the message itself, right? Text message itself, we know the context of it, and therefore a simple message, a simple worded message will be different based on the person. Okay, and how we respond to it will be different. But that being said, I don't think we should read too much into the message itself. Okay, and a lot of times it's out of context. So in a contextual manner, first of all, guys give each other shit all the time. So hey, what's up, idiot? What's up, loser? That's perfectly normal for guys. Women, girls, you have your own way of communicating with each other, and I know you guys give each other a hard time, but guess what? Giving each other a hard time is actually a good thing for strong relationships. And if you can't handle, now if you get upset, obviously something was misconstrued, or maybe it's communicated wrong, or maybe you took something seriously that wasn't meant to be, whatever it is, right? So when you're in a process of you're busy doing something, you're driving in traffic, you have a long way to go, you're late for a meeting, okay, you're late for an appointment, you're going to an appointment, okay, you're going to somewhere very important, graduation day, whatever, right? That's an important day. Obviously, one of the most important would be a wedding day, right? Which I have yet to experience. So you're kind of in a heightened state of awareness, okay? So those days specifically, when you're in a heightened state of awareness, we tend to take things more sensitively, right? More seriously. So a simple message, are you on your way? Yes. Why the hell are you asking me? Yes, I'm on the way. right? It's not what they said. It's you're in a heightened state of awareness based on the circumstances. You're late for a meeting. You're late for a dinner date. You're late for an interview. So it's not what they're saying. It's how you feel at that time based on the circumstances, and therefore it's coming back, and it's just triggering something in you. A simple worded message from someone you know, because of that state, right? That again, never reply when you're angry, emotional, depressed, anything. It's way better to cool yourself down and then let it pass, then respond, right? Now, okay, fine. To take a slight caveat, right? Okay, are there actual emergency situations where you have to respond? Yes. Knock on wood, God forbid. Car accidents, okay? Robbery, okay? Attacks, God forbid, shootings. You're going to be in a high stress state. A person that's experienced that is going to be a high stressed state. And they have to get messages out right away, okay? That's not every day, okay? That's a very rare occurrence. It's honestly less than 1% of time, okay? Knock on wood. I pray that never happens to anyone. So in that case, you have to, the emergency precedes your emotional state. So you have to get out, and it's understood that you're in a heightened alert and heightened awareness and in a heightened emotional state. It doesn't matter. You have to notify, I'm alive, shots fired, I've been in an accident, I'm on the way to hospital, and you're gonna have to get communicate the message as soon as possible. That's more important than your emotional state, right? And yes, some people might. People typically, even if they love you, they should take that. Be like, oh God, okay, he's in an accident. Let's go take care, and let me not get offended or something by his emotional state, right? So that's in an emergency situation, which is a rare occurrence. So that the caveat being, the situation precedes your state, which means you have to communicate in that time, regardless of your state. Okay, that's not every day. It's a very rare occurrence. So on a day-to-day basis, you're not, God forbid, you're not going to face that. Okay. So that being said, not allowing a simple message or a simple notification or email or whatever, like just trigger you emotionally, and therefore, and definitely not responding when you're either driving or busy or focus mode, nothing. Okay. That's what we're trying to get at. Right. So, covered a lot of ground here on this tech talk. Yeah, so definitely manage your screen time. Okay, highly recommend managing screen time. I think more than 4 hours a day is too much. Okay, for an adult, any adult over 20, 22. Honestly, any adult, it's a bit too much unless like your job depends on it. Fine, your job depends on it, right? Your maybe the screen time is based on GPS navigation because you're driving a lot, whatever. Okay. And things of that nature. That is understandable. We're not talking about that. We're talking about people who don't need to be on their mobile device every second, but it's part of you, and therefore it's part of your day-to-day activity. We have to limit our screen time if you want to get things done. My device is in another room right now, and it's on do not disturb mode because I have to focus right now so I can talk about this, right? Okay. So, yeah, increased productivity means silencing notifications, not responding right away to everything. Okay. Some things can breathe. People know you're alive. Okay. People know you're there. Okay. You don't have to respond right away. Respond when you can, and they'll understand if you're in the middle of something, especially work related. Okay. And yeah, limit your notifications, and if you're getting too much, you honestly turn off notifications entirely. Delete apps that you never use, like CNN or I'm talking about that specifically, but whatever. If you're getting too many news news feed notifications, I think that's kind of a waste. So that's going to trigger you a different way. But I personally delete them, but that's up to you. But definitely you can turn off those notifications so you can only see when you open it, right? That's better. And yeah, so social media, emails, nudes, sports feeds, messages, text, phone calls. That's almost 10 off the bat. I don't even dig deep into that. Okay, so that's too much for a healthy adult who's trying to make things work and has to focus on his or her career, on their purpose, on their goals. You gotta know to mute that thing. Okay. And lastly, for phone alarms. Okay, so this reminds me of Simon Sinek, right? And great guy, amazing author, phenomenal, huge inspiration to me. Author of amazing books, which I've read a little bit of his work as well. But huge productivity guy. Okay, huge productivity. He's seen the negative impact of social media to just millennials. Forget about Gen Z. You know, it's even more. But one of his podcasts, he mentioned that to limit your device, put it somewhere else. If your alarm is on your device, just get an alarm clock and then put your device in somewhere else. Okay, different. Because if the first thing you're doing is checking your phone every morning, that's not really conducive for a healthy mind and a healthy way to start your day, right? So, okay, now for alarms, phone alarms, here's my last hack of the day, right? Set 1 or 2 alarms, especially if you have trouble waking up. Set it 30 minutes to an hour before you actually need to get up, because you're gonna snooze. Let's be honest, you're all gonna snooze. Most of you are gonna snooze. I know I snooze. So set it earlier than you actually need to get up, and then you're accounting for the snoozing. Okay, you're accounting for the snoozing. Then you get up, and I wouldn't check your phone right away, right? If you don't have to. Okay, get in a quiet state of mind, and of course, after you finish your basic stuff, using restroom and stretching and stuff, take some quiet time, right? I like to do a little bit of yoga stretching, and I need to be honest. A little bit of meditation, right? Drink some water, of course, all that. And so, yeah, if you can manage to have an alarm clock without using your phone alarm, highly recommend. But okay, fine, not everyone can do that. So keep your phone on the sleep mode, okay, and have it set to only turn off after you wake up for 30 minutes plus. Then have it 7 a.m., 8 a.m., whatever. Then have it turn off, and you'll find yourself not needing to check your device as much. Okay, I have a sunrise simulator from Amazon. Okay, a sunrise simulator. So it simulates the sunrise as the alarm goes off. I snooze, it simulates again, so it helps me. It's extra light and sound to help me get up. Now, all the hacks of alarms and everything, all that aside, if you're not, honestly, it comes down to like the importance of getting up at a certain time. If it's super important, like if it's the morning of catching a flight, or you have to get somewhere early for a certain important appointment or whatever meeting, you're gonna get up. You know you can't afford to snooze or sleep long. You have to get up, because the time it takes to get ready, to get out the door, to head to your destination, it's gonna happen. So it's just a matter of the importance of getting up on time, at a certain time, right? So having on your mind, like, I have to make it up on time for a certain thing, that's probably your biggest factor to waking up on time for anything. But yeah, check out the Sunrise Simulator alarm clock from Amazon. It's not that expensive. I think it's really cool. Has a lot of cool settings, a lot of cool. Mine has the sound of birds chirping and the alarm going off, and the sunrise simulator. And it especially helped during Ramadan when I had to be up way before dawn, early dark hours at 4 a.m. So it really helped at that time, and it messes with your day, with your body's internal clock and so forth. So yeah. So lastly, sleep mode. Okay, for your device. I'm pretty sure most of y'all have this, but if you don't, turn on sleep mode for your device and have it set to when you go to bed, and then have it set to turn off as you get up. Okay, very important. It should be regular schedule, just like your sleep time and your work time and your school time. Same thing. And try to have 1 to 2 hours of no screen time before you go to bed. That's highly recommended. And every major podcaster that I've heard, Tom Bilyeu on his podcast, Andrew Huberman on his podcast, Chris Williamson, his podcast, they all mentioned the importance of reducing screen time before bed for your natural circadian rhythm so you can get the best sleep possible. Okay. So yeah, some hacks for you guys and some tech and mobile device discussion. Like I said, we need to control the technology. We should not let technology control us. And last example, for farmers, right? Using a tilling fields with the donkey thing was a huge technological advancement at the time, right? So that helped them till the fields and able to plant the crops way faster or way better, right? That's a technological revolution, right? And we're not going to go too far back to prehistoric times, but yeah, during the revolutionary period, they start, gas and steam started to become revolutionary, and you tractors, and you can use actual gas-made tractors to help plow a field in hours instead of days. Okay, so all the technology, this is just farmer discussion, but all the technology the goal is to improve the quality of your life. It was not to take over your life, technically, right? Yes, laptops is important to accomplish things. That doesn't mean you need to be on it at 24/7. Okay, your social media is for a certain purpose. It doesn't mean we need to be on there all day and not get work done, right? So take control of technology. Don't let technology take control of you. And in the era of AI and smart cars and freaking robots coming up, okay, that's definitely coming. There's no escaping that. Hopefully it's not an iRobot situation, but yeah. So it only behooves us to control our relationship with technology and manage the technology in our life, because there's no escaping the fact that it's part of our life. There's no escaping that. Elon Musk said it. We're basically all cyborgs, because with your device, you are a million times smarter and capable compared to without your device. Yeah, right. So we're all basically cyborgs. We all need devices. We all have this technology for a reason, and it's connected all of us, and there's no going back. We need to control technology. Don't let technology control us. Okay. With that, I'm done. It's been a pleasure. Good to be back. I'm gonna get on a more regular cycle on these things here, but I hope you got a lot of value. If you like this podcast, please give a thumbs up, hit the like button, subscribe for more. Once again, this is Mosh, and thank you for tuning in. And remember, as always, just a little perspective. Peace.